He looked at me like a little kid, like needing help, begging for help. And then he say, "What I do? Ain't nobody helping." I say, "You die." That's what you do. You die today. The day you die before you go on the stall and suck somebody, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna die today. That's what you do. And then I'm like, I get involved. I'm like, bro, I got stuff over here. Come get this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We kill it. That man ain't no punk, and he ain't finna be no punk today. You feel me? And I step up for him. I get him. I say, bro, you straight. So he was like, everybody seen this. So they gonna start running down, and I'm like, bro, you straight. Just, you know what I'm saying? This just the life. You know, people don't want to hit. You gotta get a knife. And I'm like, bro, you want to get a knife and toughen up, bro.
So, Craig, I know at 17 years old, man, you end up going to prison for a shooting. How much time do you end up with at 17 years old?
I was sentenced to natural life at 17 years old, one of the youngest persons in Florida history, really Miami history, to be sentenced to natural life at the age of 17.
What was that like for you? 17 years old, you go to court, the judge says, I'm sending you to prison for the rest of your life.
You don't really understand what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Because you just know streets. That's all you know. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand. It don't hit. Reality don't hit yet till you walk in that gate and knowing it's over. It's a war zone. You fighting for your life now. It's a different environment. And how I'm gonna get home? You ain't got no money to get a lawyer, so everything costs now. So it's a different thing. And understanding how appeals go and fighting for your life, it was a different environment. I'm a little kid. I'm in the jungle now with grown people. They dropped me off in prison at 18 with the lions and the tigers and the hyenas. It's like fight for your life and survive.
Let me ask you, what leads to the shooting, though, that ends up getting you a life sentence? I mean,
All
you're in the
right.
street life. Tell us how that happens.
I was young. I started selling drugs when I was 12. You know, my mom was on drugs real bad. My dad was on drugs. My mom passed away when I was very, very young. I never lived with her, so I lived with my grandma. So I'm out in the streets, trying to bring money in the house to help my brother and doing the little stuff. That's all we knew. In Overtown in Miami is drugs. That's all we seen when we came outside. Is drugs. So I was playing sports a lot. I was real good in sports, so I dropped out of school and went to seeing what my peers doing around me and selling drugs. And I went to selling drugs, and I end up running one of the biggest drug holes in Miami in the neighborhood called New Jack. I had start at 17. I'm buying keys at this age. And a guy by the name of Horace Hill Taquandra, the young lady who was shot and paralyzed. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna break it down. Me and him was cool. We was real close. It's always somebody that's real close with you that's gonna come, because you looking for the front door for the robbers to come, but they coming in from the side door. Is always somebody you know. So we was robbed. The apartment we had the drugs in was robbed for like $18,000 and a quarter key. So we seeking out for revenge. And when we went, we got word that he was on this corner and his homeboy. So when we hit the corner, it was a whole bunch of shots fired. It was late at night, like after 11. We didn't see nobody but them out there. And then later on, I found out through the news, because it was a real high profile case going up at the time, that till a young lady was struck and paralyzed.
So you're 17 years old, you get robbed, you're like, yo, I'm about to get some get back. The streets demand
Yes.
that I go over here and I bust some shots, right?
Yes. That's just what's the street rules. Like, it's what it is. If you get robbed and you let this go, everybody gonna go. It's like open season like this. But at the time, we don't know no better. This all we been taught is get back. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going around there and holler at them, at this time, you don't know what that means. It's just get back. That's all you know at the time. And that's what took place. We went around there and shot the individuals that we was looking for at the time. But until a young lady was struck and paralyzed at the time outside, at the time, her cousin.
So her cousin, he does the robbery. Does he end up getting hit that night?
No, he didn't get hit that night. Other people did, until that was involved with the robbery. Somehow her cousin was like, he was in the streets and he was killed later on, like down the line, by other people that he was robbing, I'm assuming.
Let me ask you this, right? We see a lot of young kids right now, man, out here shooting. Just got this kid in Philly just got killed. They tried to rob him for his chain. What's going through your mind at 17 years old? Are you like, yo, I'm about to kill this dude? Did you intend
That
like I'm killing this
that
dude?
that's all we was breeded. That's all my attention was at the time because we don't know no better. It's like if you get a house dog, he don't know no better till you teach him violence, and that's what we was taught. That's all we knew at the time. I'm in the crack era. You got to remember, I'm in the crack era. That's all we knew in the crack era. Drugs being kilos, being the police robbing us. It wasn't regular individuals robbing us. It was police officers jumping out robbing us like actually robbers. They got a badge. If people go look up the river cops, these cops was more crooked than anyone else was doing wrong at the time. So I'm in the crack era. So it was nothing but everybody was selling crack was 15, 14. Because at that time we was told we can't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? It was the laws was different at that time. You feel me? So it was a different environment at that time.
You're thinking I'm gonna kill this dude, not thinking about the consequences, not thinking, man, I want to
Yeah.
get life, none of that.
When I'm really riding with the fam with the homies, you know what I'm saying? This the dudes I looked up to. These the dudes I love. These the dudes at the time I felt I give my life for. You feel me? I felt they'll do the same for me. You know what I'm saying? Riding for the block, like being a stepper with the block. You know, we stepping the block stepping. So that's all we knew, and that's what we believed in at that time. And remember what I say at that time. You feel me? Because I'm not praising and glorifying that lifestyle no more. So I don't want people to think, oh, he on here glowing. No, I'm not doing none of that at all because that ain't the person I am today. I'm a totally different person.
For sure, we're gonna get into all your accomplishments and what you're doing in your life, but back then, were you around when the Booby Boys were around back then?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, my aunt was his godmama, all of us, and I be, talking to a couple of Bo Brown. I talk to them boys right now, and I try to encourage them boys. Everybody love what I'm doing, and I talk to them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get it screwed that they're from Kara City, so we gonna clear the ways. Them guys is from Overtown. Booby Black Boy is from Overtown. Bo the twins is from Overtown. They're not from Kara City. Ain't nothing against Kara City, but them guys is from Overtown. Everybody take what Rick Ross did and say, hey, they're from Kara City. They're not from Kara City. If you ask the twins where y'all from, they're gonna tell you they from Overtown. You know what I'm saying? You ask Black Boy them boys from Overtown, they came out the streets in Overtown.
I know Booby. I was with him. I did some legal work for him. Also, what was the other dude's name? The older dude, was it Bumpy?
You got Bumpy Brown, you
Yeah, I was
got
with Bunky Brown. I was with him in Coleman also.
yeah,
He ended
you
up
got
getting out too. Were those guys around when you were a youngster? Were
yeah,
those dudes
yeah,
that you kind
yeah,
of maybe
yeah. These the
maybe
guys we growed up under. My mom was his ran with his auntie Vanessa. That was my I mean was his godmom. So I knew them guys very well. A lot of them Corey Smith with the John Does. I knew all them boys well. And my case somehow got caught up with the John Does because they say he spoke to a witness in my case and threatened a witness. So they searched me in his cells and all that, Corey Smith. So I knew them guys very well. Bonda, I knew all very well. She just got released a couple of years too. You feel me?
so let's talk about this. I know you said your mother passed away when you were younger. How'd your mom die?
My mom died from AIDS, from being on drugs when we was very young. You know, she was in the streets. I really didn't know my mom. You know, she never was around, so I didn't never know her. Me or my brother, we never knew our mom.
Even though you didn't know your mother, right? I mean, you find out that she passes away, you're a young boy. Does it hurt you inside? What goes through your mind when that happens?
Yes, because every day we wish we had a mom like everybody else. We might have not been in the streets. If we'd have had a mom like everybody else, we probably wouldn't have been in the streets because it's a difference when we got a grandma who's like in her 70s, can't come behind us. So all we learned from everything we did from the streets. That's all we learned. The streets was like our father, That's all we knew was the streets.
So you get this life sentence. Now you're on your way to state prison in Florida. What's it like for you when you walk in that door? You're a young man. Are you a big kid or
Nah, I think at the time when I walked in, I was probably 115 pounds soaking wet, probably 120, probably 5'4" at the time. So when I walked in, they looking at my case being on the news real big. I had one of the probably biggest cases at the time on the news because it was a little turf war that they were saying was going on between us and rivals. And when I get to the prison and my case being on the news heavy, and I was labeled as a high risk case, you got the warden there, everybody there, and
So I mean, there's that turf war going on. Explain to us what's going on.
all right. At the time, when I walk into prison, I'm labeled as a high profile. So they like this guy is too little to go over there with the in the regular population, and he gonna have to go on PC because he's too little. I don't think he can protect himself. I'm like, I'm from the streets. I ain't going in no PC. It is what it is. I'm not going in PC. So I went in regular population. They had to make a vote, and I had to go before the head application, the warden, the colonel, and it was like, if you want to go out there, that's on you. You want to go in that jungle because we got the zoo. So people who that don't understand what the zoo is protected custody where you in your cell 24 hours a day. And then you got the jungle out there on the compound, like the wild jungle. So I go in the jungle. So when I get there, was a guy that came on a compound with me, big dude. If you go back to the movie Friday, this dude looked like Debo. So me and him was vibing. So I'm like, all right, I'm kicking it with main man. And he cool, big dude. They ain't gonna mess with big dude. Dude, Debo, you feel me? Dude look like he'll break you in half. So my first day in prison, this is no lie, my first day in prison. At nighttime, we sleep. All you hear, because it was laid back in the dorm. You think it ain't what everybody's saying it is. So um I'm laying down, sleep. All you hear is, man, hold that motherfucker, hold him down. I'm next, hold him. And then you got about 8 dudes around the bunk surrounded with knives in their hand, big knives. And I opened my eyes, dude looked at me, you like you seeing a demon. This one individual that was running down on a dude I called Debo, looked like a demon. They like, all you hear is pull his pants down. Man, I'm going first. No, I'm going second. To hear dudes like, you ain't never seen this, like saying they fitta they over there raping this dude. You hear, ain't never heard a noise so loud in my life when he's screaming. You know what I'm saying? For his life, and ain't no officers coming. I ain't never heard nothing that loud in my life. And I'm like, man, you know what I did? I closed my eyes and rolled over because boy, I know I ain't gonna be next. I'm gonna have to die today. You know what I'm saying? So, and the next day, we wake like it's normal, ain't nothing happened. They came, blood everywhere. They took him to the hospital, got him out of there. I ain't never seen the guy again. And dudes was like, hey, man, let's go on the yard and work out. Let's go in the gym. I mean, on weight pile. That's where the weight's at. I said, you crazy? You seen what they just did to this dude? Man, I'm finna go get me some steel. Ain't nobody finna rape me. It ain't going down like that. I ain't finna go on that weight pile. The muscles ain't gonna help you in here. That's over with.
It was Debo that they did that to?
Man, they did that to Debo. They gave it to this guy. You feel me? Like, you got dudes sitting, they thinking, and now, like you a lady. They ain't looking at you as a dude or man, they looking at you as a lady when you walk in that door. A lot of these guys. Man, they gave it to Debo. Straight raped him, gave it to him. This dude, like a giant, ain't stand a chance. He was like 6'4", and they made him look like he was 1 feet. You know what I'm saying? When it was over, just hearing a dude scream like that was crazy. You feel me?
On your mind, are you always like, damn, man, I got to be on point, man? I mean, your first couple weeks there, are you like, yo,
What? That's all you know is be on point because these dudes playing a different role. These dudes study books all day. That's all they know. They studying and they trying to manipulate you. You think this dude might be your homeboy? He cool with you. He plotting on robbing you. He plotting on raping you also. So you got to be on point and learn this whole system because it's a whole new environment. It's fighting every day. You're gonna have to fight. That's regardless. I had to fight. I had to walk around with black eyes. Cause if you show any weakness, it's over with. You gonna fight just to fight. Dude come, hey, I need some canteen. And you looking like, what? You know what I'm saying? You gonna bump. I done been sitting on the back toilet taking a dump. Dude, like, hey, bro, you got on cigarettes? I'm like, I don't smoke. What's up, bro? I'm using the bathroom. Bro, I asked you for some cigarette. Dude walked back there and swung on me. Bro, I jump up. Ain't worrying about wiping my butt. None of that. Ah, you got the right one. It ain't going down like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you thought. And it's just, you're going to survive. That's what all you know is survive.
you don't run into none of the homies, the dudes you were out there getting money with in prison or anything like that?
Yeah, that's at the reception center, it's everywhere. So I run into the homies. I'm good. I run into all the homies that I growed up with, and a lot of people that heard of me and all that. So I was good. It was like I'm laid back. Everything good. I'm wild. I got a life sentence. I'm fighting for my life, and I don't care. It's like the day to day. I felt like I ain't going home. I'm gonna die in here. So this what it is. You feel me? Yeah, I run into a lot of the homies in there.
I mean, you link up with them at some point, like, yo,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
with my
yeah.
people now. I'm good.
I link up with them, everything good. We end up doing the same thing we was doing out here. We selling drugs because you got more drugs in the prison system than you probably got out here in the free world. So it's crazy. So a lot of people be like, how they got more drugs in the than the free world? That's what it is. It's more drugs in the prison system than out here. So it's flooded with drugs. So everything, all us doing the same thing. We end up hustling, getting a little money and surviving. And and still wilding and don't know no better.
I want to ask you a real question, right? Being that you have a life sentence, you're a young dude. Are there ever, is there ever a time where you just feel like, damn, man, like lonely, like I don't have a mother, I don't have nobody. All I got is this prison. Is there ever a time when you just think to yourself, like, damn, I wish my life was different?
Man, that was regularly. Like when them doors in the opening, you smiling. You got a smile on your face like it ain't no worries. And when them doors close, you crying at night. You like, damn, man, I don't want to live like this every day. You gotta go to war every day. I gotta scrap books around me so a dude won't stab me. Every day I gotta have my boots on. Every day I gotta fight for my stuff. You know what I'm saying? You get like it was hard. Like at that time, a lot of family, it's out of sight, out of mind. It ain't that they don't love you, it's out of sight, out of mind. You get that call, your girl ain't riding no more. You know what I'm saying? That's gone. Your family ain't accepting them calls no more. That's gone. You know what I'm saying? That commissary ain't coming in no more. That's gone. So it get real hard when you eating that food and it ain't no good. So it's a very, very hard journey. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get lonely, you're gonna get stressed, and sometimes you're gonna think about giving up. You know what I'm saying? But to keep moving, what got me through it was God. I had done went through like my emotions being denied, and I'm stuck in here, and I'm asking God what it is, what you want me to do. And at that time, I gave up everything. I started vibing with the homies. I started like falling back and doing different things. I'm getting in school and I'm fighting for my life now. More trying to learn the system because I'm in there like, oh, I got a lawyer. I'm gonna be straight and don't know nothing about the law. You feel me?
How long were you wilding out before you decided, man, I'm gonna turn my life around?
About 10 years and now about 10, 12 years.
What was the worst thing that happened to you in prison?
Um, the worst thing happened to me, getting stabbed twice, being on CM regular, getting jumped on by the officers regular. Um, just in a lot of rides, regular, like, cause prison is where you from. That's how prison go. It don't matter what you do, it's gonna be where you from. You're gonna have to link. And me being a neutron, and a neutron is a person that ain't no gang member. So I wasn't in no gang. So I'm a neutron. So it's gonna be a different atmosphere. You know how that go being a neutron. It's gonna be a different atmosphere. And you're not a gang member. So you ain't got 100 dudes ready to die for you every time you get off this bus. You feel me? It's gonna be riding, or you're gonna give up this lifestyle, or you're gonna stay in this lifestyle. So I gave that lifestyle up. And I had done put in enough work in prison and had the respect. So now I done been gone by 15 years. I'm an OG in here. Because if you survive prison 15 years and you ain't walking around with no makeup on your face and twisting, you survive. People know you don't survive the wilderness. So I'm an OG in there. So I had the respect. So I just fell back and changed my life and started doing better and trying to guide the little homies on start instead of getting stuck in there because it's easy to get stuck in prison because you got a lot of dudes coming there with a year, 2 years, and end up with a life sentence by stabbing people, killing people. And I'm like trying to tell them, man, fall back, bro. Don't go home, bro. I'm stuck in here. And dudes be like, damn, you got a life sentence, OG? Man, I got a life sentence. And then people here 15 years, that's a lot of time. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into your accomplishments in a minute. I want to talk a little bit more about the prison situation. You
Yes.
get stabbed in prison. What do you get stabbed over?
Being from Miami, like some other dudes from Miami going through it with some guys out of Jacksonville. and we don't know what's going on. But by me being from Miami, see, on your ID, it's gonna tell you what city you from. It's gonna have a letter, and that letter gonna tell you, like, if you got an M, that you from Miami or you was arrested in Miami. You know, if you got a J, that means you from Jacksonville. You got an X, you from Orlando. It's gonna tell you what area you from. So that's how I go in prison. So when something happened, everybody gonna be on point. So some dudes had done got ran down on Jacksonville. So that's how I go. They gonna run down on people from Miami. And I was slipping and they know what was going on. I'm on the phone, dude come hit me in my side twice. So, I woke up and I was in the hospital, thinking really on fighting for my life because in my lungs and everything. But God got me through it.
He stabs you and you're unconscious.
Yes, but the rules of the chain game. We got to get that get back. You feel me? It don't matter what it is. You got to get that get back because if you let that go, see, it's 1,000 prisons in Florida. If you don't, it's gonna spread like all over because there's more cell phones in prison than anything. So it's gonna spread all over that they ran down on this individual. He ain't do nothing. He's a sucker. So it's just different rules. You're gonna have to survive. So we had to run back down and get that get back. You feel me?
Dude stabs you, you get out of the hospital, you get some get back. What's your get back like? What do you do for get back?
Um, we ran. I had to heal because I was barely able to walk for the first like 2 months, 3 months, and I'm like, I'm good. They stepped like, bro, what's up? That's old with because you gonna have to get off the pound if it ain't. I'm like, bro, that's good. It was a misunderstanding. I don't want no problems, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's over with. So I left it as that. So we lamping, and then we ran down, went in the dorm while he was sleeping, woke him up with the knife and hit him up and drug him out the bed, and got up out of there. So he ain't die. We hit him like 4 times in the back. I did, and got up out of there, and it was what it was. Then I had to run down on a couple of his homeboys, and then all of us got. It was a big ride behind it, Miami versus Jacksonville, and then all of us got shipped. It was about like 200 individuals almost got shipped, and I had to go to CM. They put me on CM. I was locked down for 24 hours a day. Come out like 15 minutes to shower twice a week for a rec for like 30 minutes for a whole year.
CM, you're pretty much locked in the cell, solitary
Yeah,
confinement.
yeah, 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 yeah,
The people,
yeah.
what that's like mentally and emotionally to be locked in a bathroom, because there's some young dudes that need to hear this shit, man. What's it
I
like
mean,
when you're sitting in your bathroom for 24 hours a day?
locked in the bathroom. And I had to tell individuals that I'm like, bro, we locked in the bathroom. We sleep in the bathroom. You can sleep anywhere out here. If you can sleep in a bathroom mentally, talking to the walls, hearing the walls talk back to you. And people might be like, man, they psych. Nah, they ain't psych. You got the sharpest dudes in there studying is just rough. You know what I'm saying? Eating this food, like they give you loaf, dog, like a loaf is when they blend everything together. And because they say the officers say you spit, they just gotta say something, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? And it's rough. Like a person don't know how rough it is in there till you see it. There's a vibe, and you look up, like, damn, these cats over here fighting. Damn, these cats over here fighting. It's every day. These you go on the yard, this dude getting a blowjob from this dude. You got a line of homosexuals prostituting in here. You know what I'm saying? It's another day of life. And then I learned this up because they people. A lot of these dudes don't be going in there as home. They was forced to be homosexuals. I had to learn that. That's a difference. Being forced to be homosexuals. You feel me? It's a different ball game. I had a bunkie by the name a bunkie came in there, and I'm at the end of my sentence. So I was like, listen, little bro, you a sheep running with wolves. They gonna eat you later. So he like, nah, big OG, you be disrespecting me, man. I'm a soldier. I say, you ain't no soldier, you a sucker. I can see through you, little homie. And I'm telling you something from experience. Stop running with them dudes you running with. They gonna turn around and eat you later. Trust me. I done seen this, homie. All them in gang members and all this and this and this. And you ain't. You a neutron. They gonna eat you later. Stop running your mouth telling your business to these people. Keep your mouth closed. That's the best way to get by. Keep your mouth closed, little bro. So they a couple of guys pulled up on me and was like, hey bro, bro under your wing. I say, nah, ain't nothing about nobody under my wing. And then when people say of somebody under your wing, they paying you for protection. You know that what that mean? Oh, he paying me, I'm paying, they paying you for protection, so nobody won't mess with him. And that's regular enough. And I'm like, nah, ain't nobody under my wing, bro. I don't rock like that. So we in the dorm, we working out. Me and my homies, we working out. So dude, like, hey, bro, your roommate right over there fighting. So we walk over there, and I'm looking. He go a couple of rounds. Dude, way bigger than him. He go to like he go bam bam bam, but the dude getting the best on him. Then his homeboy hit him. You know what I'm saying? So we looking. So dude tell him take that watch off. Give me that watch. Dude give him a bunkie. Give him the watch. He say give me them shoes. He give him the shoes. Then he say now you finna go and install and suck this. You feel me? And I'm like, hold on. So he looked at me like a little kid, like a little baby, and I felt bad. You know, I got a lot to risk. I'm finna go home in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I felt bad because you don't get in other people's business in here. So he looked at me like a little kid, like needing help, begging for help. And then he say, what I do? Ain't nobody helping. I say, you die. That's what you do. You die today. The day you die before you go on the stall and suck somebody, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna die today. That's what you do. And then I'm like, I get involved. I'm like, bro, I got stuff over here. Come get this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We kill it. That man ain't no punk, and he ain't finna be no punk today. You feel me? And I step up for him. I get him. I say, bro, you straight. So he was like, everybody seen this. So they gonna start running down. And I'm like, bro, you straight. Just, you know what I'm saying? This just the life. You know, people don't want to hit. You got to get a knife. And I'm like, bro, you want to get a knife and toughen up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then he get on the phone and call his mom. And, you know, they come get him and put him in PC. You know, it ain't built for everybody. But, you know what I'm saying? It ain't what people think. Because mom can't save you on that side of the field. Nobody, the homies ain't saving you on that side of the field because the homies done switched out. Then you ain't gonna hear from the homies no more. The ones you ran with on the street, they gone. They ain't answering no calls. They ain't sending you no money. You on your own. It's a new life you gonna have to live on that side of the wall. And I'm telling you from experience, ain't no book can teach you this. You can go get a book. You can go get a college degree. I'm telling you this from experience. To fix a problem, you gotta use a problem. You know what I'm saying? To fix a problem. We fixing the problem. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I know we could fix the problem by using us from the inside because we done been there. You know what I'm saying? I talk to a lot of the little homies now every day. You know what I'm saying? Trying to guide them, trying to school them, but and now they thinking running with the click is what's popping. And then after a while, it kick in after 10 years is over with your appeal process being over. You know what I'm saying? That was the hardest part. Like telling me I ain't got no appeal no more. It's over with. You're gonna die in here. And I had a natural life sentence. So me being here talking to you right now is God. That's showing you how powerful God is when a judge tell you you will never walk the streets again. I promise you this. And then doing the appeal, see, appeal process, not to jump the subject, because people gotta understand this. Appeals, when you go on that side of the wall, appeals, you got 3 appeals. You got a direct appeal, they precur. You got a 95% chance of them precur affirming it. They ain't giving you opinion. So that's over with. You know what I'm saying? You got a 38.50. That means your lawyer, the reason you in that, they ain't gonna grant that. The percentage of them granting that is like you hitting a lottery. So now you got a federal hate. They gonna hit that in 6 months. Ain't nobody over the feds over with. So once they deny that federal hate, ain't no more appeals. This your life. If they gave you 30 years, most likely that's what you're gonna have 30 years. If they gave you a year, you're gonna have a year. But how can you do a life? Life ain't gonna never come. That day ain't gonna never come. That's for me being a step at that time, thinking stepping was popping. Life is never gonna come. Ever. That date ain't never gonna get there. So by me being here right now is God. You know what I'm saying? My life is here from God. I'm doing everything God want me to do because it was written. Everything was written for me. When I changed, God was coming to get me. You feel me? And then when I changed, God came and got me. My case went to Washington, D.C. Supreme Court. And they hear one case out of a million. And they heard my case. And they said it was cruel and unusual punishment to sentence a juvenile to natural life for a non-capital crime. A non-capital crime means nobody died. You with me? You
With
with me,
you.
my brother?
I'm 100% with you. I know your case.
Okay. A capital crime is nobody because the audience won't know what that means. A capital crime means nobody died. Nobody was deceased in my crime. You know, So I went to prison for natural life. I was sentenced for attempted murder to natural life. So the state attorney in my case, go to the victim. Tia, she was an 11-year-old kid outside at night on her porch and was struck and was paralyzed from the waist down at 11 years old. So I was sentenced to natural life for her. So they went to her, and then the subject, I didn't have like a lot of help, like getting a lawyer. So the send a motion in, you gotta have a lawyer. You can't do it yourself because you barred out of court. So if you send a motion in, you're gonna go to confinement. So at the time, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna tell you this how God worked. I go to the chapel to church, and the pastor up there preaching. I get on my knees and I say, God, I done everything you asked me to do. You say stop selling drugs, I been did that. You say separate myself from that clique, I been did that. You say start going to school, I went and got my GED. I did everything you asked me to do. I'm in education. I'm trying to guide the little homies in here. I ain't been in trouble in years. And I'm asking you to break these chains and contact my family, help my family come up with some money to get me a lawyer to get out of here. God say, don't go to human, come to me. I'ma see. And I went to the law. I had legal mail. I ain't got no motion in court. I ain't had no motion in for over 2 years. So I'm at legal mail, and it's a law firm. But you know, you get these letters in the mail where law firms be writing you and be like, you can hire us. I ain't got no money to hire nobody. I'm broke. And I open it and it say our law firm, we choose one pro bono case a year, and the computer picks you so we can represent you. And I was like, tears come down. It was straight God. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to human, come to me. I send you an army of lawyers. I had like 4 lawyers fighting for my life, you know? And when it went up to the Supreme Court, it's like everybody was like, because the article was in the US news, it was everywhere, like on the news. My case was on the rural news, and it was like people were like, they ain't gonna overturn it because they gonna have to change the constitution. So man, when I seen it, I mean, I worked in Pride, like where we get paid, we was doing tax and the thing, and you had a lot of inmates run over there. Was like, Craig, you on the news? And I'm like, what you mean? They overturned your case? And I'm like, you for real? I just run up out of there. No lie, I run up out of there. I look, I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm on the radio. They like it's on the radio. I'm trying to get the station. I'm like, I ain't see. I couldn't get it. So I'm out there just sitting at the TV waiting on the rural news to come on. It was like big case out of Florida changed law system, and boom, showed me, and it was like I got to be resentenced to a sentence that'll release me in society. So sometimes I tear up telling these stories because what I
It's all
went
right.
through
It's all
to
right.
get here. People would never know what it took for me to get here. So it was a it was a blessing just to know I'm going home. And so I know it's gonna be a rough ride. So when the state went to Till, that's the young lady was shot and paralyzed in my case, and it was like, we need you to like make a statement so he don't get out. We need to get him 40 years. So if I'd have got 40 years, I'd have been still in prison. I'd have been having to do another like 20 years right now. So that's what they was pushing for. And, and my lawyers them telling me what's going on, and they gonna use her to try to keep you in here. That was hurting us. So out of the blue, my lawyers them came up that I was way in the panhandle, like in prison. So my lawyers them came. I ain't been hearing no good news really, and they was like, "Did you seen the newspaper article just came out on your case?" And I was like, "No, no, ma'am." And they give it to me. They were like, "Read it," and I read her words. She said, "I forgave him. I'm not mad at him. I'm asking y'all. It was the environment we growed up in. It wasn't his fault. It was the environment fault." And I'm asking for y'all to give him another chance. I forgave him, and I'm asking the courts to forgive him and release him. And like when I seen this, like tears just came down for a person to forgive you when you took so much from them. That's showing you how, how good God is. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to her regular, and when I went to court, she there. And every time they want her to say something, she ain't never say nothing bad about me. She always spoke up for me. And I was resentenced to 28 years in prison due to my gang time. I was released and I walked out. And I ain't never think that day would come. I honestly, I tell you in a million years, I gave up like thinking I'd be released, but I bet up my life because I ain't think I was going home. That's no lie. I thought it was over with how that journey was, but I never really gave up faith, you know. And when I was released, the PBS News reached out to me and asked that Tia wanted to meet me and that we could meet each other or whatever. Would I have a problem with it? I was like, nah, I love to meet her. So PBS News put it together and they flew me in and we met for the first time. And it was like, she a wonderful person. I be in contact with her regular. I talk to her on the phone regular. We got a bond, like a sister and brother bond. And God been good, you know. I mean, it's a blessing.
What
Honestly,
was
it
it
is.
like? What was it like for you to talk to Tia and be like, listen, thank you for what you said because it changed. It changed everything, and I was able to get out. What was
Yeah.
that moment like? 'Cause I'm sure you thanked her, right?
What it was a like I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. Like honestly, for you to take so much from her and see how wonderful person, that's like an angel. When I see her every time, it's like an angel. And it's a blessing just like to hold her, to accept her mom. You know what I'm saying? Accepting it and the forgiveness of me telling her sorry. I broke down in tears, crying. She was crying, and it was the heart, like the biggest relief and the best moment I think I ever had in my whole life was meeting her and holding her and talking to her. And we built a bond. We talked every day. Like real, like if she got something going on, she'll call me. She got two wonderful, beautiful kids. She married, and she in a wheelchair. She still can't walk, but life ain't stop her. She's strong. She showed me that you could be like strong because she built strong and she got a wonderful heart.
So pretty much you and her, you have a pretty good relationship with her now. You talk to her every day. She's living her best life. Although, you said you took some things from her. So how's that relationship right now? You guys still talk each day?
Yes, yes. We always talk like regular. She like my little sister. I talk to her about personal stuff. She called me about personal stuff that's going on in her life, relationships, advice. She be having some of the best advice it is. And it'll be crazy. Like people don't want to like how our bond got so good. And people look at our life and they forgive like situations they in and they can be like, whoa, if she could forgive you for that, I could forgive an individual for what they took out of a lot of people's lives. And we be going around, we done podcasts together, we done interviews together, we done been free featured in People's magazine together. We done been doing a lot of things together, me and her. We thinking about doing a book together. We ain't like get down and get to the idea yet, but she was like, "You think about wanting to do a book, write a book together?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm for it." You feel me? So, but I ain't really we don't know where to start at with it. You feel me? But our story can touch a lot of people that's going through a lot of inner things. You got individuals done been sexual assault, but they ain't never clear that darkness in their life and forgave till they seen our story. And if you could forgive for taking a lot, I took a lot and you can forgive them and we got a bond. You'll never know that I was the person that put her in that wheelchair. You'll never know that the way our bond is.
Like you said, man, God's amazing, right? You don't know how to
Yes,
start out
sir.
your story, man. You start it out. Let's say it's today, right? May 13th, 2025, 4:55 p.m. I had a gun. My mind was centered on. I mean, I'm just going off the top of my head. You started from the
Yeah.
day that from the incident that happened, and try to connect and feel what you feel inside. That's how you start the book. And once you get it started, you go from there. But anyway, Craig, man, now that you're out, you are living. You're living your best life. I know you're driving truck. I mean, you can't be more free than
Yes.
that to be out there on the highway, right?
Yes, I drive 18 wheelers over the road. I done been everywhere. I used to have a mouthful of goals. I had a mouthful of goals at the time because in the 90s, that's was in the 80s, that's what was the popular and like it's showing, you in the streets and whatever. That was the first thing I did was took the goals out and went back to my regular TV. That was the best thing I could have ever done. And I'm enjoying life. I'm driving trucks. I'm living life, enjoying this. I'm reaching out. I'm involved with so many organizations, Jack Brewer Foundation, Reentry One, like OCI programs, reentry programs, so many programs I'm involved with. I'm in the community doing a lot of charity work. I do a lot of charity work, a lot of volunteering work. If somebody call, I'm for it. I'm for like giving back to the young homies and trying to guide them not to go through what I went through. 24 years of your life. Just imagine coming home and don't know your family, don't know nobody really. Everybody dying off in there. Everybody dying off. So you don't know no family. You starting from scratch. The streets don't must look the same because it's new buildings everywhere, skyscrapers everywhere. So I had to learn to like not always use GPS to get around. And it was a lot of ups and downs, but God continued to get me through. I went to CDL school up in Jacksonville, got my CDLs and been hitting the road, got a good job with a good company, and I've been on the road driving ever since. It's just been a blessing.
I know you got a YouTube channel going now, right?
Yes, yes. At Second Chance After 24. Don't forget, it's at Second Chance After 24. Yes.
And what I'm gonna do is I'll put your channel in the links. You send it to me on the email. I'll put it in the links
Yes.
for you. Tell people go check you out. But listen, man, you're out now. You're living your best life. Never going
Yes.
back, right?
Oh, never. I almost if I see trouble, I go opposite way. Cause the individuals, if they ain't deceased, mostly everybody I did run with back in the days, if they ain't deceased or whatever, a lot of older, but I don't go around. I ain't really go around. I ain't meet been around one or two of them. I don't have time for that. It's all about family. Prison taught me family is everything, and it's about family and me doing what I gotta do, what God purpose got me here for, and enjoying my life. You feel me? And continue to move forward, in a relationship, enjoying life and living out here.
I told you earlier. I think this is probably one of my best interviews, right? And I'm gonna make sure that people know that, man. I definitely
I
appreciate you coming
appreciate
on.
it.
You
Yes,
say
sir.
you talk to the young homies and all that. What would you say to them right now, or to your younger self? You were caught up in the streets in Miami, selling drugs, carrying guns. You were living that life that people rap about, that people talk about, that people think's glamorous. But for you, in the end, it wasn't glamorous. 24 years
It,
old,
it
facing.
wasn't glamorous. Cause the first thing a lot of us don't know, like everybody around you end up being your worst enemy. Like the guy you running with end up always being your worst enemy, and it won't never hit. You know what I'm saying? To later on, to me being an OG telling you what's going on, it'll never hit that the dudes you running with, you think you stepping with, gonna testify on you later. Don't gonna get you a lot of time. It don't never hit like when it hit reality when you in them handcuffs when we stepped for nothing. What's the reason you ran down on this dude? Because he looked at you wrong. You couldn't walk away. And then you on this side when these dudes running down on you with a knife, and you like, damn, it was about nothing. Nah, you don't remember it was nothing that got you here. You know what I'm saying? If you think for 1 second, you'll walk away from that problem. If you think for 1 second and look, it ain't worth it. I can tell you every day. I wish every day, you know what it was? My homeboys that I thought at the time telling me, boy, let's go spin on these dudes. We can't let this go. They gonna continue to be in your ear till you walk away. It's hard. I know it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I want to fit in. A lot of people want to fit in and join gangs when that ain't for you. You ain't built to join in gangs. So sometimes you got to think for yourself. Peer pressure is a mother. And I'm here. You know what I'm saying? My Facebook page is Craig Dean, CraigDan. And if you reach out to me, man, I got so much advice for you. It's ridiculous. I'm on IG, Chico Boss, CHICO boss BOSS 81. Reach out to me. Follow my YouTube page. I'm doing a lot of good things at Second Chance After 24. Put two on NDs Second Chance After 24. Y'all follow me. I'm doing the best I can. I'm reaching out to a whole bunch of interviews. I done had officers reach out, hug me in tears saying, I appreciate you talking to my son. I done had so many individuals reach out to me and reaching out to their families, talking to their kids. It ain't about kids in poverty. You got doctors in there, you got lawyers in there, you got scientists, you got the smartest people in that prison that hung around the wrong people and lost their life in there. So it ain't about people in poverty, it's about anybody. You know, I reach out and I'm here for anybody. It don't matter what I'm doing. I could be on the road driving. We got headsets. I'm talking. I'm trying to encourage them. I'm the big homie, you know. I'm the big homie. It ain't never nothing wrong when you got somebody talk, because we been taught if you see your little brother fit to do something crazy, go tell mama, go tell this, that's snitching. Nah, that's saving your little brother life. You feel me? You saving your little brother, your little sister life. You saving your homeboy life. That ain't snitching. You saving his life, you know. And I'm here trying to give him encouragement. I'm in the schools. I go back into the prison system. I ain't never thought I'll be able to walk back into prison without handcuffs on, but I go back into the prison systems and I talk. I talk to the kids and I'm letting them know you can look good doing it the right way. You ain't got to be in the streets selling drugs. You ain't got to be in the streets doing fraud, looking good. I look good every day and I'm doing it the right way. I've been working a 9 to 5 since I walked out of prison. And I look good when I do it. So I'm trying to encourage them that you can look good and still work every day. You ain't got to be in the streets. So if people want to reach out to me, I'm here. If you want to fly me in, I'm coming in. I'm coming to the prisons. I'm in the neighborhoods. I'm for the movement. I'm for trying to keep these brothers out of prison and doing what's righteousness.
Listen, man, definitely appreciate you coming on. I'm going to put your links in there. I'm going to tell people if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, share this video with respect. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.